Just a quick bit of housekeeping before we get to today's topic. The Meaning in the Making is out now. Some of you have already been receiving your books and feeding back to me, and I really appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But there have also been a lot of issues on release of this book, and I wanted to address those here. Unfortunately, there have been a lot of system errors with Amazon in particular, where people who've been making pre-orders for the last 3 months started getting emails from Amazon saying the book's been cancelled and their pre-orders are gone now. The book is absolutely not cancelled. It's still out. Most people are still getting their orders through. If you received that email saying that your pre-order was cancelled, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. It's outside of my control. It's incredibly frustrating. But if you still want a copy of this book, they're all still there. You can jump back on and you can remake your order now. Also, for those of you who are reading the book, the biggest way you can support me is if you enjoyed this book and you got a lot out of it and you want other people to read it too, please head back to the website where you bought it, wherever that might be. It could be Waterstones or Amazon or WH Smith's or Barnes & Noble, and leave a review for this book. It really helps with those mysterious algorithms and gets the book out there. And also, I really appreciate those of you who are reading the book and enjoying it and recommending it to friends and family and anyone else out there who you think might need a copy in their hands. It really goes a long way to helping me spread the word about this book that I'm very proud of. And I'm also really enjoying seeing those of you who are posting quotes from the book or passages that really resonated with you, because I finished writing this book back in January, so I've had to wait this long to get any sort of feedback or idea about how this book is landing with people. So please keep sharing that stuff. I love to see it. This book might be news to some of you who are watching. In very brief summary, it's my philosophy for the creative life, with everything from how to find your voice, where do you go for inspiration, and how do you build more meaning into the things that you make. And it's not just for photographers or filmmakers, it's for anybody who makes anything. So if you're interested in finding out more, I will leave a link down below. But enough of that, let's get on to the topic at hand. I picked up this book about a year ago. It's filled with images from photographer and painter Saul Leiter, all in black and white, and it's called In My Room. And it features images of some of the women in his life over the years in very intimate settings and contexts. What struck me when looking through this book was the openness of these people and the gift both he and his subjects are giving us in these glimpses into their private lives. I mean, I think we're all curious about each other and we're fascinated by relationships in particular. So when a photographer turns their lens to willing subjects in intimate settings, I think it makes for really compelling imagery. So I started to look around online to see if I could find modern photographers who were tackling the same sort of subject matter. And thankfully I came across Tiffany Roubert, who takes beautiful images of her and her wife and their relationship together and their travels, and they share that relationship in photographs with the rest of the world in much the same way Saul Leiter did in this work. And so I reached out. Then on a recent trip back to London, I got to sit down with Tiffany and her wife Carla and ask them about what it's like to let the camera into your relationship. How do you approach photographing in that sort of setting? Do you need to set boundaries between the two of you? And then how does it feel to share such intimate work with the rest of the world? So I'm going to shut up now and let you hear from Tiffany Roubert.
So it was in 2012, went to Australia for the first time, and I was like, okay, I need to capture all this beauty. Took a camera with me, it was my first one, and just started taking pictures. I was studying there for a year, communication, but then I loved taking pictures so much that I was like, there is something there, I think that's what I want to do. And yeah, so I kind of built a little portfolio, and then I applied for school in London, and voila, here I am. Yeah, I learned everything online actually. There it was more for the theory, getting to know the big photographer, the big name, Henri Cartier-Bresson, all of those guys that I never heard about before. So this taught me a lot, but then, YouTube taught me way more. I think I consider myself as a shy person, so the thought of approaching people back then when I started was terrifying. I never thought I would one day take portraits. So I start with landscape, which was pretty easy in Australia. And then slowly but surely I was like, okay, there's something into people's eye, people's face that I want to capture. And that's when I start taking portraits. The photography work that I do would be for creative people, portraits. Lately I've been working with singers, taking their portrait mainly. For brand a bit, I got that thing with Leica. But actually that's very interesting because they asked me to do what I do already. to photograph, you know, my daily life with my wife. So that's the perfect kind of job, you know, you can hope for when you love doing that. I love the connection. Like, mainly I photograph stranger most of the time. When I don't photograph my wife, I photograph stranger. And I love that when people look at my photo, they feel like we know each other forever. So I love this proximity, this trust between a stranger and me thanks to my camera. I love this feeling. So when I look at the picture, I'm like, yeah, we succeed. You know, it looks like we are kind of close. I don't even feel like I find my style yet. I feel like it's something constantly evolving. So I don't know. Maybe it's something in the color. I'm very low saturated. A bit greeny, a bit textured, but this is because I was doing a lot of film. So even when I shoot digitally, I love to give this film look. So the reason why I started film was because I got a bit tired of this, you know, everything going fast, taking 100 pictures to have the good one. So at the end, I didn't consider myself like a photographer anymore, but more like a technician pressing on a button. And with film, well, you don't have that choice. You don't have the luxury to take 1,000 photos. So I was like, maybe it would be nice. It was extremely frustrated at the beginning. I hated it. But then I was like, no, let's keep pushing. Let's keep going. And yeah, just the simple fact to have 36 photos, you know, 36 chances to take 1, 2, 3 good maybe. It was very challenging and I loved it. But then for some professional reason as well, I needed to go back to digital. That's why I went for something manual focus, you know. So shooting digital, but with an analog approach, and I love that.
We met in Soho, but she knows my friend from Brazil. So I was in Spain and she invited me for like my welcome party to London. And she said, oh, I'm gonna call like friends to come as well. And voila, she was there in the party. And yeah, so we didn't talk much, but that's the place we met. I would say from my friend that I know she has different version.
That's funny because we have 2 versions of that story. Because see, I'm French and apparently I'm the romantic one. So I like to say we met in a bar in Soho, which is the case. But the way I put it seems like it's kind of destiny. So well, I'm French, she's Brazilian. We met in London. It's been 3 years in June. So we've been together for 3 years. And so yeah, coming from 2 different countries, we're lucky enough to be able to, you know, travel, escape London. As much as I love the city, it's nice sometimes to escape. And in December, it will be 3 years that we got married in Copenhagen. So it's a bit of mix of everything, you know? Yeah.
But I think in the beginning she was a bit shy, so she wasn't not taking much pictures. It was just like playing kind of cool, like, yeah. And then I remember one day that I went for a walk with her and there was like reflection. She loves light all the time. So she saw a light, she's like, oh, would you mind to stand here? So she took this picture, but I remember not much. Yeah, at the beginning, I think she was a bit shy.
So when I first met her, when we first started dating, obviously I thought she was really beautiful and I was already taking a lot of photography, but I couldn't take one single picture of her. I don't know why, I was maybe a bit shy, scared. And I remember that guy, he's a friend of mine, he's a photographer, and he said, but what are you doing? Just take a picture of her. And I was like, I know, but if I start, I know I won't stop. So I'm just giving her some, you know, some space for now. And then that's what happened. One day I start taking pictures of her, and since then I just don't stop. I think one day, you know, I had that thing with mirror selfie. And one day I was getting out of the shower and I see all this, what do you call it again?
Condensation?
Yeah, on the mirror. And I was like, that can be cute, you know, like I saw myself. And then I just called her, I said, can you come please? And she naturally gave me a kiss here. And I was like, wait, do that again. And I just passed my hand on the mirror, you know, took the picture. And I think that was kind of one of our first photo, yeah. And yeah, and then I was like, okay, that's cool, I want to keep doing this. You know, there is that first of the film, the first of the roll, right? That is cut in 2 parts. The first part is always burned. So I'm always trying to be intentional about that one. And we woke up one morning and there was this beautiful light in our studio and Carla is still sleeping in a bed. And I was like, okay, maybe there is something there. And I had no idea, because I just started shooting film, which side would be burned or not, you know? So I just take a picture of her sleeping And I was lucky enough for like her body is in the part that is not burned, and I love that picture. I think it's still one of my favorites. And the second one, I guess, will have to be the one just after where I woke her up. So she looked at me with this very sleepy look, and I pressed the shutter. So those two pictures for me, I love them. Yeah, very, very, like natural and intimate as well. She was sleeping. A bit more recently, we traveled to Brazil, and we were in this beautiful hotel room with, well, the hotel room wasn't beautiful, but the light in the hotel room was beautiful. So then again, she's in the bed, I think it's the morning, and I see this beautiful light, and I want to take a picture of her with the light coming on the bed. And as I was going on the balcony, I saw the building reflecting on the window. And I was like, okay, it's kind of a double exposure, And yeah, press the shutter as well, and love this photo. It was very organic, I start naturally taking picture of her the same way every partner would take picture of the person they love, It's just, yeah. First, it was mainly, as everyone, I guess, to record memories, to, while traveling. The same way I started photographing in 2012, Back then it was to record my travel. But with her, it's more to record those precious moments in a way. So it's not something I do intentionally. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes I see an amazing light and I'm like, please, can you go? No, but I'm working, please, just 1 second,
I was working the lights, and then she's like, can I take a picture of you? And I was like right now? And then she's like, yeah. And then I said, you have 1 minute, because I was working, and at the time I couldn't stop. And then it was just so nice when I look at the picture. And if you look at the picture, you're gonna see, wow. And I was so 5 seconds, it's done. And it was, I swear, maybe 1 or 2, no more than that. Very, very fast and beautiful after.
Most of the time she will never care. I will never take a picture that she doesn't really like. But for her, sometimes she doesn't see the point, like this sleepy photo of her. She's like, that's just me sleeping, why? And everyone loved that picture. I think that's the one that's been shared the most and so on, because I guess people can see what I see, the honesty and the real moments. And for her, that's just her sleeping, But most of the time, no, she doesn't care really. If anything, she's happy for me that I'm able to share what I love. But yeah, there is that photo one day that I took of her under the shower. It's blurry, so you can see she's obviously naked because under the shower. And you see just the shape of her butt, but you don't read nothing big, nothing neat. And this has been shared a lot as well. So she was a bit overwhelmed, well, there is my ass everywhere around the internet. And I was like, no, don't worry, it's just, it's fine. Because when you come from my Instagram page, it doesn't come as a surprise, There is this kind of picture a bit everywhere already. So it's not just one shot out of, I don't know, a corporate job, So no, she's never really annoyed at me for sharing anything too personal. She's very comfortable with this. And that's why we are a team as well for that, So that's nice.
I know every time you're in the mood for taking pictures. Sometimes you just don't, and then you just don't. We don't. But the thing is about us, I think I always try to support her, because I think it's not easy to be a photographer those days. It's very hard, and also to be an artist, So sometimes you don't do it. I think even though, I don't know, sometimes you don't want to take picture. I think. I'm not sure. When you see a situation, you do want to take a picture. So you kind of okay, this is beautiful, or this is nice, or I want to. So I try to help and support her, because I want her to be happy what she does. And
I don't know. I know that I obviously draw a line. I'm not showing everything. I mean, I don't live in a TV reality show, I just sometimes, when the light is good and I feel like it, I just take a picture. But there are thousands, millions of other moments that I don't photograph. It's very random, to be honest. And being able to record those moments, it's beautiful, sometimes I just look back at them. Sometimes I scroll either to my Instagram or my photo and I feel good, and just a nice feeling.
Most of our pictures, I really love it, because it's always us. It's very simple. There is not much. It's just us sleeping, wake up, living. So there isn't like most of our pictures in our house, in our bed. So it's just well, we woke up and then we show our love, but just not. I mean, I really don't like too much. So for me, it's just cute thing like, okay, we give a hug or we give a kiss, and bum, she's gonna take a picture. So very, very simple, very us, I would say.
I remember the first time I posted that photo, I mentioned my favorite one, the one where she's sleeping on the bed. I was so shy. I was like, this is so intimate, like people are gonna feel weird about it, and I will feel weird about it. But also I loved it so much, and I thought it was, like, you don't even see a body, you know, I think she's covered with a blanket, but still make me so shy. And I was like, you know what, let's do it, let's see. And I remember posting it and being so, and now it's, because I you know, I took that first step, and I saw it was well received. And I was like, okay, it's nice, make me feel good. I received beautiful comments about people.
We've got a lot of message from people say, oh my God, seeing you two is so beautiful. You guys give me hope. And yeah, I guess so. But for us, it's just like living and be happy and love each other somehow. Like there's not much thing to do, you know. Just, yeah, that's it.
You know, people sometimes ask me, don't you get, you know, kind of weird comment about even mail? Never, ever. Only get beautiful feedback. And if anything, sometimes I'm even helping, you know, LGBT people to come out or these kind of things. So I think it's, yeah, it's just good, you know, and it's love, so it's something that I'm proud to share as well. Yeah, I feel like down the road, maybe I would feel very shy. Why did I show this to the world? But who knows? I don't know. And as long as I don't know, that's the thing. I don't have any end goal, you know. I don't do this for a specific purpose. I do this today because I feel like doing it. Maybe one day I will stop. Maybe I will go further. Maybe I will make a book. Maybe no. I have no idea. I just do it because it makes me feel good right now.
I think it's going to be the most beautiful souvenir of us, of daily life, of waking up, leaving. Also we travel a lot. So going to Brazil, and then we're going to remember the time that we're here, or when we're going to France as well. I think it's just going to be so beautiful. I think it's a dream to see these pictures, and also getting older and just see your life. And we have a lot of pictures that we kind of like naked, but not naked. So it's also nice to see the change of your body, being young at the moment, also growing up. And I don't know, imagine us taking the same picture in 30 years. It's just going to be so like the difference, so like our body, our face, everything. I think that's why the most beautiful thing about photography, like you can just save something that nobody's going to take for you. The time is going to be saved forever.